In water pollution topic, in this one you have you need to know about this wastewater or sewage treatment, because when water it is getting polluted, you need to think about treatment methods so that you can use it for constructive purpose. So we know that water contains lot of harmful compounds. If you remove the all the harmful materials or harmful compounds that you have in that water, then naturally you can use it for constructive purpose. So when you discuss about water pollution, you should know how to treat that contaminated water. So here in wastewater treatment or sewage water treatment process, you have different steps through which you can treat contaminated water. That is preliminary treatment, primary treatment, and secondary treatment. So in different steps, you can treat contaminated water. So in this process you are converting the harmful compounds into harmless compounds, and in this process, in treatment process, you are eliminating the offensive smell of water, and you are improving the quality of the water, and also some disease producing microorganisms and all if you have in water, then that can be easily removed when you go for this treatment process. So this involves different steps, namely preliminary treatment, primary treatment, and secondary treatment. So in the preliminary treatment process, all heavier impurities that you have in the water, it will be getting removed. So water may contain some coarse solids and suspended impurities present in that. So all heavier impurities that you have in the water, it is removed in this preliminary treatment process. So solids and other suspended impurities that you have in the water, it's removed in preliminary treatment. So this step it is carried out by using bar and mesh screens. So we use screens that contain large number of holes. So when water is made to pass through these screens having large number of holes, all heavier impurities or the coarse solids and suspended impurities in water, it will settle on that screen, and water it will be getting purified from these heavier impurities. So in preliminary treatment, the solids and suspended impurities that is removed. So after this preliminary treatment, the water is subjected to secondary, that is primary treatment or settling process. So in primary treatment, suspended inorganic or organic solids were removed from the liquid sewage, and this is done by settling. So in order to facilitate this settling process, we add certain chemicals called coagulants. Usually alum or ferrous sulfate, it is added to water. So when you add these chemicals, then these chemicals, it will entrap the fine colloidal impurities and it will settle at the bottom. So that can be easily removed. So you are adding certain coagulants to water. So when these coagulants are added, it will entrap the fine colloidal impurities, all the inorganic solid and organic solids and all, it will be getting entrapped and it will settle at the bottom. So that can be easily removed. That is known as that is known as primary treatment. Okay, and next after primary treatment you can go for secondary treatment. In secondary treatment, biodegradable organic impurities that can be removed using aerobic bacteria. So you have different methods through which you can carry out this secondary treatment process. So in this you can go for trickling filter process, or you can go for activated sludge process, and you can treat the water. So biodegradable organic matter that you have in the water and all, it will be getting removed. So 90% of oxygen demanding waste, it will be getting removed when you go for this secondary treatment process. So usually in secondary treatment process, microorganisms were used to remove the contaminants from water, and usually this process, if you see, it is a biological process in which we use microbes and when you add this microbes, they'll consume the organic impurities as food, and they'll convert this into some simpler compounds, and that can be easily removed. So here this second treatment, it's done by using a process, namely trickling filter process. So in this slide you can see the image. Okay, that is you can see that a circular tank. You can see that circular tank that is filled with either a coarse, or you can use a crushed rock in that circular tank, and sewage it is sprayed by using some rotating arms. Okay, so here you have a circular tank, and above that you have slowly rotating arms. So when when this sewage, when it is made to pass through this these crushed rocks, what happens is slowly it will start percolating downwards. So in the presence of microorganisms, you have the presence of microorganisms. So microorganisms present in the sewage, it will grow on the surface of that filtering media, using that organic material of the sewage as food, and it will settle at the bottom. Okay, so here it will settle at the bottom, and that can be easily removed. So you have different steps in this one. So here in trickling filter process, it is a circular tank, and a tank is filled with crushed rocks. Okay, so it's a circular tank, and this tank is filled with crushed rocks, and this sewage, it is sprayed over that rock. You are spraying that sewage. You have slowly rotating arms in that the circular tank, and when sewage moves downwards, the microorganisms grow on the rock surface. The food for the microorganisms, it is the organic matter in the sewage. So what happens, microorganisms present in the sewage, they grow on the surface of the filtering media using organic material of the sewage as food. So naturally, after this aerobic oxidation, sewage, it will go to settling tank, and after a settling tank, the sludge can be in the settling tank, you can remove this sludge. Okay, so